This is going to be a little review reminder about how to use your project folder. The importance of a project folder is not only that it organizes your materials and your scenes within a file structure, but Maya, for instance, when you build a scene like this, and here we have what I call my brick outhouse, and I made this geometry, and as you can see I put a brick texture and a roof texture and a wood texture on the door. What those textures are, those are images, and if I were to look in my project folder in the source images, these are the files that are mapped on to the actual geometry in Maya. These are not saved in the Maya file. These are saved outside of the Maya file. So every time we open up Maya with image textures, Maya is going to look for those textures and they're going to map them on. It's going to have a path to a file structure. So if I set my project to this project folder here, when I open up the file every time, Maya is going to go and it's going to find the brick and it's going to put it on there, and it's going to find the roof and it's going to find the door wood texture and it's going to put it on there. If you were to email just the Maya file without the textures, what's going to happen is I'm going to open up a Maya file here that doesn't have, it is not set to the project, and what is going to happen is the accompanying texture files are not going to be mapped on to the model here like we have here. So what's going on here is that basically, because those image files do not live within the Maya file, it doesn't know where to look for them, and this hasn't been set to a project. And if I were to render this, you're going to see that nothing comes up. Now the thing to do would be to, when you email a Maya file, would be to email the whole project folder. Now that can get a little big. You don't want to email, or you don't want to send all your files, all of your versions, and maybe not all of the textures. So what you could do is you can go and you can just make a file, source images file, and you can put in whatever images you are using for your scene and just email those. And if the other person has a project folder already set up, all they need to do is to put those files in the source images folder and set the project. So let's open up the Maya file. So I'm going to set the project. Let's just say this project came in. I copied those image files into the Maya file, into the project folder, excuse me, and I'm going to set my project to that folder, and it can be anywhere, so it's Sean Texture Demo. I set the project, and I'm just going to open up that scene again. That's on the desktop, and now when I open it up, it will come in with the textures on it, just like that. So that's one way you can do it. Now let's just say things get a little messed up and you didn't set your project, but you have all of your texture files, in a folder somewhere. You can still find them. So I'm going to click on the object. I'm going to right click into my material attributes here, and I'm going to bring up the material attributes, and you're going to see that there's a color, and if it's black and it has this little arrow here, that means that there's a image file or a JPEG or whatever is going to be associated with it. And in here in the image name, where the folder is, where you load it up, it's going to give you the path of where it's looking for that folder or looking for that file. And you could basically go in and just remap that. So let's just say the image is missing. I'm going to go do something else again. If I were to open up this scene, Here, I'm going to go set the project to something else. Set project. Let's cancel out of that. Let's just try this again. I'm going to open up this Maya file. Hopefully the images will not come in with it. We'll just see. I wanted to make a mistake, and maybe it will. Oh no, see, it's going to work now because I've already set the project to it and it's looked for it. So once you do that, once you've already have it established, it's always going to look for it. So I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to close this one out too. And what I'm going to do is I am going to delete this project folder. So let's just say this Maya file was sent and you didn't send any of the textures with it. So now it's going to open up and it's going to look, and it doesn't have any of the files attached to it. So I'm going to go, okay, so there's some image files that are attached to this, and I'm going to go look for them. So if I go into material attributes, go into the properties, and it's going here and it's looking for them, and it's going to be looking for it in this file path here. Okay, and it's like, okay, well, these are missing. Well, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say, okay, well, email me those texture images, and just email me the source images folder. So fortunately I have this folder here, and I'm going to copy and paste it anywhere. I could paste it in my desktop here, open up the Maya file, and I could go in here and I can manually look for those files again, and it's looking for these in texture image, but I can go anywhere. So I'm going to go in and go look for those in the source images file, and I'm going to put in the brick texture, and that brick texture will go in. Now, as you can see, I have to go through, and I have to go through manually and find all of those faces. So as you can see, this is not the best way to do it. So the best way to do it is to have the project folder set, and if we both have the same project folder on my end and on your end, and I just add those texture files as you do them, as I get them, what will happen, as you can see, if I set the project to texture demo, I reset all of those texture images, open that scene again, and all those textures will come in on either end the way you intended them to.